Hello, my friends. So, I welcome you in the love and light of the one infinite creator. And in today's session, I have channeled the Galactic Federation in order to ask about the recent, like there was an outage or there was a type of event of a blackout of like major social media platforms, okay, like Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp, and it was all over on the news. It happened approximately like 2 days ago, and the fascinating thing is like it was all on the news. And the thing that I found fascinating, okay, now let me tell you this, okay, I had channeled the previous session. I had channeled like 4 days before, okay, and in that session also they had said like there may be some waves coming, and if we use excessively our social media devices, it may cause us to feel fatigue and stuff like that, okay. So I found that really surprising because after releasing the video in the same day, okay, like after some hours this happened. Like I was like, wow, so something definitely is happening, okay. And in today's session, the Galactic Federation, I asked them, what is the real reason behind this blackout of major social media platforms? Now this was really surprising, okay. Now normally these like big companies, they have like a lot of money, and they have lots of servers and employees and stuff, so they normally do not go like blackout like that, okay. And this was a blackout for like a few hours, so it was not like for like few minutes or stuff like that, but this was like like for like heavy long hours, okay. And I also heard that the what do you say, the share price of Facebook, Instagram, etc., they also went down because of the blackout. It was really a big event, okay. So in today's session, the Galactic Federation, they tell us three things, okay. I have written down because it's actually like, this is like before I share this with you, okay, this is like definitely out there, okay. So I felt this was out there, okay. So I hope you use your discernment and discrimination, and of course judge the material. I'm not making this up. I'm not saying that I channeled it, and I'm not this is live channeling, okay, so you can see it, okay. I'm not making this up, so you can see what they said. And they said they talk about the real reason why the server was down, okay, and it's connected to the Mars war. So I found this really fascinating, okay, and I think this is the real reason why it went down. So there must have been some cover-up going on, okay. And the other thing is yeah, this was really fascinating. I also asked about what are the third density physical vehicles they look like. Now in previous sessions they had said that we are in a second density physical vehicle. So I wanted to know, how does a third density physical vehicle look like? And it's the image that I got was, wow, you will understand this after the session. I will explain to you, you will get it. It's like it's mind-blowing, okay. And the other thing they talk about it, this is very good, because I wanted to know like a method we can use to enter into timelines fast, okay, because sometimes people they are going through some problems or stuff like that. They want fast solutions, okay. So they give us a method of entering into timelines like quickly, okay. So this session is really fascinating, and they explain about this method towards the end of the session, of course. And after the session ends, I will give you my understanding. So here is the session, my friends.
We are the Galactic Federation, and we are now communicating through this instrument in the love and light of the one Creator, who has allowed this communication through this instrument to occur at this time-space of your planetary junction into the fourth density beginning stages. We we, the Galactic Federation, are now connected from our seat in the Saturn Council, as known by your people. We are here now for the purpose of transmitting our thought forms in order to provide guidance without infringing upon the free will. Before we begin transmitting through this instrument, we would like to warn you that you should use your discrimination when listening to our thought forms, as you have the objective and the prerogative to maintain your free will on the illusion complex which you call life. Today, this instrument has queried pertaining to the aspect known as the server going down for the major social media platforms, as known by this instrument's mind complex. This event occurred approximately 48 hours prior to this contact. And for our prerogative and understanding, we shall scan this instrument's mind complex for better understanding the query placed by this instrument. Upon scanning this instrument's mind complex, we are of the opinion that the so-called server or a blackout occurring in a major social media platform as known by your people as Facebook, WhatsApp and Instagram was triggered not by your planet's interference or not by the technologies giving away on your planetary sphere, as has been pointed by the people of your planet. What we may now share shall sound a bit crazy for those people who are not yet aware of the truths that are around their own illusion complex. However, we shall now share the true fact which caused this blackout of the major social media platforms. In essence, the so-called three companies are headed by one individual who is named in your local space-time vibratory sound complex as Mark Zuckerberg, and in essence, this entity has had many a times created soul contracts and a binding contract with the reptilians as well as the Anunnaki for exchange of technologies in order to become the most advanced person or elite on your planetary sphere for the purpose of controlling other entities on the planet. In essence, this entity has created servers as known by your people for the maintenance of a backup and a connection with each activity that occurs on the Earth planets, and these servers have been created inside the Mars planets and are also being used by the reptilians to keep track of certain information and to keep track of entities on the planetary sphere. This is how many a times they are using the technology to track the information of certain individuals in order to gather their location and their whereabouts so that they can influence such individuals who are of a negative orientation. Furthermore, these entities also do not need such type of technology, but this entity known as Mark as a offering of the so-called database or a connection of server on the Mars planets has created this backup technology on the Mars planet which is being handled by the reptilians. And the event which led to the blackout of this is caused by the intense love light energies which was faced by the negative oriented entities who are currently lodged on the Mars planet's interior, and they had faced a stimulating love light energy which damaged the so-called server on the Mars planet, hence breaking the interconnection, and the chain of loop of connection was broken, which led to a blackout of certain hours, as known by the people of your planetary sphere. This in essence was caused because the Astar command entities and the so-called entities on the reptilians, they had a type of interaction wherein the Astar command entities projected love light energies towards the negative oriented entities on the Mars planet, which led to the destruction of certain physical vehicles of the reptilians, which also have been relocated by the so-called Ashtar Command Collective, and these reptilian bodies or physical vehicles which have been now captured after the crossing over process shall go through our council, and we shall determine what kind of objectives and what type of technologies these reptilians and the Anunnakis have created inside the Mars planet. Furthermore, there may be a high chance of these types of blackouts occurring more in the future if the so-called server from the Mars planet for these three technological giants as known by your people, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, are not relocated to the Earth planets. Also, this instrument wants to understand, what do the third density physical vehicles actually look like? Since in the previous sessions, many entities and we also had shared this information that the current physical vehicle of the human collective is that of a later second density type. In this regard, let us give you an analogy of the type of physical vehicle which shall actually exist on the third density planetary sphere, disregarding what is found on the Earth planet. The third density physical vehicle usually has a intense objective of yellow ray energy center, or the creation of thought forms to an intense degree. And because of this aspect, the so-called area or the skull is larger in a third density mind-body-spirit complex physical vehicle, and also the other body parts such as the sexual organs as known by your people, as well as the organs which are required for the purpose of survival, such as the aspects of stomach, etc., are also smaller compared to your people. And because of this aspect, the main portion that is considered approximately larger compared to the other organs in the physical vehicle is the skull in a third density physical vehicle on a third density planetary sphere, except that which occurs on the Earth planet at this time space. This is caused because the third density normally have to tackle the catalyst of intense mind complex activity, which then leads such entity to enter after transcending such activity into the beginning stages of the fourth density consciousness. Furthermore, this entity has also queried about a method that can be used to choose timelines fast. In this regard, let us tell you that one method which is primarily ignored by many of your people and only known by approximately 0.1% of the whole planetary population is the method of choosing the timelines in which you want to enter into and using the so-called imaginary complex from the aspect of the first person perspective, walking in such a environment with your eyes closed but having imagination of the other reality already being accomplished. This will cause the other timeline to enter into the physical reality much faster compared to any other methods we can suggest at this time space. For in doing this, each entity will begin to choose the timelines, as there is no linear time. There is only this moment, which is the gateway into intelligent infinity and has infinite possibilities to allow each entity to transition through the gateway to reach into the higher realms. Furthermore, this is all the information we can share at this time space. We are the Galactic Federation, and we leave you now. Bye.
So my friends, after watching the session, I hope you gained some insights. I definitely did learn a lot. The first thing, I've written some things to tell you. Okay, the first thing they said, there is actually a cover up going behind the blackout of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. And the real reason is there is a war going on in Mars. And Mark Zuckerberg, in essence, has had created some I believe agreements with the reptilians, and he had I believe installed the server on Mars. Now all of you know that all these three companies, okay, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, is owned by Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, so I found this really fascinating. Okay, they said there is a server which the reptilians use to track people who are negatively oriented, and I was like, wow, right, this is next level stuff. Okay. Furthermore, they also said, because there was an infiltration on Mars, and the Astral Command entities, they I believe they had a kind of like feud with these entities, so they got into a type of fight type of situation, and because of love light exposure, many reptilians they died. Okay, and they also said that they have collected some bodies of these reptilians who were engaged in the battle, and so now what they say is they can find out I believe they can scan their memory and find out what's actually going on inside Mars. So I have to definitely ask in the future session what is really going on in Mars. Okay, so I believe this is not only like a spiritual war, but they may have some like massive technology as well. And the other thing that I found fascinating is now this, I don't know how this is happening, but they said because of the server which was attacked on Mars, the link was broken, and because of that the whole whole three platforms, they were down for many hours. And the other thing they talk about in the session is, okay, this is really interesting. Okay, they talk about like third density physical vehicles. Now I know many of you have seen physical vehicles of aliens and stuff like people have created, and this actually matches description of some of the some of the description that people say when they say that they have been abducted by aliens, and they met with alien species and stuff like that. Okay, so one of the things they said is in a third density physical vehicle, normally the heads are like in proportion to the body, like huge. Okay, so I believe many of you have seen aliens with big heads and stuff, so I can definitely relate to this. And because they said normally the third density is concerned with the egoic mind, and the catalyst is normally presented in the egoic mind. We need to transcend that in the third density, and because of that they have got huge heads. Okay, and the other thing they said in third density physical vehicle, they don't in a real third density physical vehicle. Now we are in a second density physical vehicle. Okay, in a real third density physical vehicle, we would not have this like big sexual organs and stuff like that. Okay, now compared to what we have right now. And they also said our stomachs would be like smaller. So I believe the whole body structure will be smaller except for the head. Will be proportionally bigger, because that's what the third density physical vehicle is in other planets throughout the galaxy. So yeah, this was really fascinating, and I could relate with this because I remember seeing in movies and stuff, and also watching tapes wherein people talk about being abducted, wherein the alien species who abduct them, they have got big heads and stuff like that. So I can definitely relate with this stuff, and definitely leave a comment down below if you can relate with this, and I will reply Okay, and also the other thing is, yes, this one was really good. So I need to, like, I just finished the session, so I need to apply it myself. They said, to choose timelines, the best method is, firstly, I believe they said to like enter into this imaginative state, and then from the first person perspective, I believe they said to walk. Okay, to like I believe this, like, this may be considered similar to wearing a VR headset. Okay, but instead of VR headset, you're closing your eyes and imagining, so you are walking and you are the person you want to be. So this is what they said. So you need to walk, okay, like physically walk. I believe this is what they said, to physically walk while imagining. So physically, like, do the things which you will do in your imagination. And yeah, like, I think it will work. So I have to try this myself, and by the way, thank you all so much for sending the emails, for wanting to know about your own past history, incarnation cycle, from which planet you originated, and the soul lessons for this current life. So I have added you to the list, and those of you who want to know, you can send me. I will add you to the list in my email, and then as I get free time, I will send out, so I can do more sessions for you and also help you out to become inspired in this life. And the other thing is, I need to say a big thank you for all of my Patreon supporters, and I have been uploading like transcripts of my sessions, as well as those sessions which are banned from YouTube. Like YouTube, you already know, okay, I don't need to say anything about censorship. And thank you so much. Thank you.